Hey guys, back with another video on that little shelf
that I'm making.
for the outdoor table. And
Outdoor shelf.
I'm gonna flip the camera and I'll show you. You could talk to them.
This is all this is some. I redid a picnic table, and this was some leftover pieces off of the top. It's 5/4, and I didn't want to throw it out, so I decided to repurpose it and make use of it. It's nothing wrong with it. So I notched these out. This is what'll lock it in when I'm done with it. I made notches on each end. It'll lock in. But I'm going to sand it down now a little bit more and make it better because it needs a little bit of finishing work done. Like I said, it's just for outdoor use, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But it still needs a little bit of sanding, so when you go to stain it and urethane it, it'll take the stain and the urethane a little better. But it'll
just continue talking. Yeah. I'll cut it in.
But these are just the two side pieces right now that I'm working on, and then later on I got to do the two end pieces, but I got to get these sanded down and ready so I can attach them first, because I got to put the shelf on there and then get it on there, and then I got to put the end pieces on afterwards. Make sure they're the right length. But I'll show you what I'm going to do after I get these attached, and then you'll see what I'm going to do after that.
Now I'm going to record a little bit after you start sanding, and then I'll just shut it off. Okay. And then after you're done, I'll pick the video back up.
Right now I'm just using 100 grit sandpaper to get it down. I already used 60 grit on it to get it a little bit smoother, because it was a lot of dirt, and I had cleaned it, but it needed a little more work on it. So
when you go to sand, say noise alert.
But there's gonna be a little bit of noise now, so when I start sanding on it. So I'm getting ready to start sanding, so.
All right, noise alert. Okay, there you go. She's recording. There's a part that broke off right here, and he's about to show you how he's going to fix it at this moment. But there is also different ways to fix it, but this is how he's going to fix it at this moment.
It's old wood, so I had a feeling it could happen. It's not a big deal. You take some Gorilla Glue. I prefer Gorilla Glue, clear, especially for this case, because if you get the other kind, they have kind that does foam up, but then it'll close off your gaps and stuff in there. And I prefer to get the clear stuff. It doesn't foam out. You just take it. You have to wet one end off on it. You always have to wet. Yeah, it has to be wet on one side. Get it where it needs to be. Make sure you got it set where it needs to sit at. It'll fit right on there. You'll know where once it sets in there in the gaps, because it's only going to go one direction again. Take a clamp, a small clamp like this. Make sure it's fitting in there good. Just double check and make sure the wood's fitting the way it should. Sometimes it can be hard to tell because the way it. If it's just a clean break like it, sometimes it does happen. You can't always tell. You have to really adjust it out. I'm gonna have to take this clamp and get it back in there just a little bit further.
Now this may be a little tedious to get it just like it should be.
Sometimes it could be a little bit of a pain, but once you get it set, put a little bit of a clamp to it. Make sure it's flush on each side. Make sure it's flush on the ends, and then that's all you got to do. Let it sit for about an hour. For about an hour, this Gorilla Glue will take hold, and it has to sit overnight altogether. But after that, about an hour, you can take that clamp off, and it'll be fine.
No, I'm gonna.
It'll take hold.
I'm going to show them that real quick. And this is the wood, that glue that he is using.
Clear glue. It's called Clear.
So
There are two kinds.
that
of
is the
Gorilla
stuff
Glue.
he using.
Yeah.
And
There are two different kinds of Gorilla Glue.
yeah,
The one I'm using is the Clear.
yeah, he's
because
just using the clear because
it doesn't foam out. The other kind, the original, does foam up, and it'll block. It'll make. But the original does do a good job. Believe me. Don't ever say it doesn't, because it does do a really good job on stuff. There are certain situations in which you want to use the original, but in this case, no.
now this happened when he was sanding. He was trying to get it finished, and it snapped off. So
Yeah. I hit the edge of it a little too hard, but I knew that could happen, because this is old wood.
yeah, you can see where like screws used to be. So
'Cause it was,
you know,
like I said,
it's
it came
just
from an old picnic table. This wood did. So that was from the top of the picnic table. Actually, this is where the wood came from.
so yeah.
But
When you do something like this, you just got to be aware that can happen.
when it's done, though, you'll never know it. You'll never know that it ever broke, because it'll be better. Actually, it'll be stronger than the wood originally was.
So, but yeah, the other side, that's how the other one side is.
It didn't break over on that side, but that's okay.
So,
It's not the first time I've ever seen something like this happen. It happens sometimes.
all right. Okay, I guess we're gonna wait till this dries and probably get back to work on it. All right, be back in a bit. Hey guys, it's the next day. Working on that little shelf. So we're about to do the holes, about to sand them. So I'll turn the camera out.
Just gonna take a dowel right here. I'm gonna just sand the holes out just a little bit, so they're get rid of any burrs and get it smooth in there. Sometimes the sandpaper will fight with you trying to get it wrapped up around the dowel, or you can take some adhesive and spray it on there if you have to. Once you get it on there good and tight, then it'll stay.
Oh yeah, and it's a 220 sandpaper is what he's using.
Yeah, just gonna use some 220 just to kind of. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just gonna try to get rid of any of the burrs that are down in there in the holes, and drilling it out. You don't take but a couple, just a little bit on each one, really. That's all you got to do.
Now, of course, I'm not going to show you watch him do it every hole, but you can watch him at least the first three.
Just kind of go around it, just double check it, look at it, make sure that it feels like you want it to feel. There's no burrs in it, mainly. That way when you go to stain it and urethane it, you don't have any of that in there.
So, yeah, and you do that to...
Got rid of that there. And
Yeah.
you just go back on each side, double check each side as you're doing. Do one side and then go on the opposite side, flip it over.
Yeah, and now we got to do all of those.
Do all of these real quick.
So, I'm going to go ahead and stop it. So, be back as soon as we're done. We're almost done. Just got that hole in the next one, and that's it. And we flipped it over. This is the bottom side. And see. Okay, so now we only got that hole there. Okay, and there's some of the sandpaper we did use. Okay, well, he used. And
Just
that,
some 220 sandpaper is all we used on it for it, just to knock the burrs out of it. And that's all it needed.
yep.
So, getting ready to assemble it now. So here shortly we'll be starting to assemble it.
So, all right, well, we got that done. So I'll bring you back when we do some more stuff. All right, we're getting ready to put the ends on the sides. So I'm gonna go over here and help. I got you all set up.
I'm doing right now is just running a bead of. I had to wet the edges of the plywood first because it has to have wet water for Gorilla Glue. That's what I'm using on this one again. Just a little bit. Don't take a whole lot.
I hope y'all heard that. It put that Gorilla Glue that we showed you on the part that broke. Now we're gonna
Getting ready to set this on. Gonna make sure it's flush on both edges.
I got this side flush.
You got this. Take a piece of wood because I got these notches. It'll make sure it sits flush with the plywood where the notches are.
Grab that. Straighten that side.
We're gonna do one side at a time first.
Okay.
Just gonna take one.
All right. Noise alert.
I can't. So. Right there. We're gonna come down to this side next. Make sure it's good and flush first. Alright. Now on this we got a little bit of a bow in our plywood. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of wood on each side. I'm gonna pull clamps.
Yeah, you might have to speak up a little.
I'm gonna take and put a clamp on either side of it. Hopefully that'll help pull that bow out of the plywood just a little bit.
Yeah, the plywood is kind of warped a little bit,
So
we're trying to straighten it up a little bit
before we nail it the rest of the way in. Pull a clamp on it, and then it'll help pull the bow out of it.
Hell, that looks pretty good. It's pretty much even.
Now all I gotta do is go through there and hit the rest of them. Just put a few more nails in it.
Noise alert.
That way. Let me come over on this side here quick so I can gauge it. Maybe put one more in here just to be safe. That'll be enough to hold this in place. It's not going to come off now. Keep the bow out of it too. Now all we got to do is do the opposite side. So we'll do that. We'll come back to that in a minute. I gotta do a little bit of cleanup on this side first. So
I think you got part of this board here. You nailed it down here. Nope, down further. Down. No, a couple of them out.
But anyhow, go ahead and I gotta clean this up real quick. And
we're gonna clean this up a little bit, and then we'll bring you back. Probably when we do the sides, maybe. Recording. Now we're doing the ends. He's already got them wet. So.
I'm gonna do a little bit of backtrack on something. Just give you guys a little bit of clue on how to when you're doing those long,
I think that
these,
needs to be spun around.
these long pieces.
Is it? No, there's the flat side.
When you're doing these, when you're doing the really long pieces, what you do is you take and put you a mark where your center line is on your plywood, because it's not flush, so there's no way of actually being able to determine exactly where to put that nail gun. So what I do is I take and put a mark on each side, take a chalk line and snap a chalk line across it from one side to the other. You got a hold of that, Robert? On a short piece, it's not as difficult, but on a long piece, especially like we did earlier, that gives you a perfect center where your plywood sits. Then you know where to exactly sit your nail gun on and nail it, so you never have to worry about it going through the wood then on the outside edge of it. That's the way you want to do that.
All right, so now I'm going to put you all down. We got you close up. Now we're going to set you down, and then I'm going to go over here and help him. So, noise alert to be.
Just make sure it's flush at the top for now.
We're good.
I'm gonna go in about a couple inches in on each side first.
We're still flush.
Probably maybe just one in the middle on this. Probably about all it's gonna need. For now, that's good enough.
All right. Now I'm gonna bring them in and show them. Just bring it in a couple of inches,
On each side.
or an inch or two on each side. And how short this is, he only put 3 in this.
Yeah.
And we still got to do the other side down there, but
The reason I'm also didn't put them on closer to the ends is because I'm gonna actually eventually this is gonna get rounded over, so it won't be a. I'm gonna take it rounded over, but I'll show you guys how I'm gonna do that after both ends are done, so that way it's not a sharp edge when somebody's walking around might hit it with their leg. It doesn't feel darn good when you hit a sharp edge on your leg. I know that.
no, it does not. So let him get that flipped over and move this over here. We can set this down because it's pretty much the same process on this top, but we'll go ahead and set you up so you can see the whole the water. Yeah.
Gotta get it wet again. I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna just pause it real quick. Yeah, we're recording. Okay. Yeah, I seen that. And there's the glue. The other one's down there. Okay. Oh shit, it is definitely trying.
Push it. Put it down in there. Put it down in there.
Can't put
Pressure.
pressure up on it. This piece is trying to break right here again. So
Tried, but it didn't.
yeah, I'm keeping pressure up on it, on this little dowel, to keep the pressure on it.
It wants to break again for some reason. Got it. There.
Whoa.
Got it.
There we go.
There. Here we go. Now I just gotta get it
So
flushed
far,
up.
we're still holding good right here.
Alrighty. That's it.
You want me to let off of this?
Look, that looks
Let's see, that's
pretty
what I'm
good now.
saying. Oh, what if we hang something on this? Or, yeah. You could probably wedge that in there. It'd be off a little thickness.
Just go ahead and that's good enough then for now.
Hang on.
It's good enough. It's ready to go for now for a little bit. Gotta let it sit for a little while.
That'll help hold it there. Well, that's how we got to do it. But that's all part of doing woodworking, is you got to be innovative on making stuff good, and especially this being old wood, you just need to figure out how to do it. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right now. We'll bring you back when we do more stuff. Okay. Hey guys, we got the table pretty much done. I'm going to flip it and show you where it's going to sit and how it's going to sit. See, this is the table, and it's going to sit right down there.
It's a shelf.
Yeah, it's a shelf to stick stuff on, and then the holes are to let the water drain.
Yeah.
And
this is what this is. A friend of mine who passed away.
Hey.
He passed away, and he left it to us. He bought this to clean fish on. If you look at it, it's got scales on it. He was a big trout fisherman, and he never ever got to use this, and he left it to me and my girlfriend. So we decided it's time to repurpose it, because it's stored for about a year.
I got the camera turned back.
So we
toward
went
you.
ahead and that's when I went ahead and made this shelf piece, because my girlfriend said she needed a new kitchen set, so that's what I made for her. So I hope it's good enough. I don't know, but we'll find out.
But yeah, it's looking pretty neat sitting down there. Let's see if I can get you up high enough. Yeah. See, it looks pretty neat down there.
But I gotta do a little more. I gotta do a little more finish sanding on it. I'm gonna round the corners over still.
Yeah,
but that's how it's gonna fit on there.
Like the corners there, he's gonna round them over on all four sides.
But that's how it'll fit on there. It'll just sit right in there.
I'm just trying to finish up this video, and then
put anything in there you want. Then
later on, it may not even be the next video, but I'll bring you back and I'll show you after his old lady stains it or whatever she does to it.
Stain it and urethane it. We got some marine urethane for it. It's actually what we're going to put on there. Marine. So they call it marine urethane because for outdoor use.
So yeah, when she finally gets done doing that, I'll bring you back and I'll show you it being completely done. But then again, it's a little sink you can hook to like a garden hose. Of course, he took the sink part off of it, but it just goes in, and or the faucet, and it just goes down, and yeah, and just where you can clean your fish.
Clean stuff. Where I got to put a little. I'm gonna have to put a drain hose on it and drain it where it'll come out, so outside the. But I got the piece for that, so put the drain hose back on it.
So just let us know what y'all think about the table, and just drop it in the comments, and get enough comments, I'll show him. And then if they're good enough video or comments, might make a video on just the comments, just address some of the questions y'all have. So yeah, like I said, just drop it in the comments, hit that like button, the subscribe button, and share it to your friends, and just that way we can start showing people on how to do some of this stuff that they don't know how to do. So is there anything else you want to say to them?
Well, here's a project that I started. I wasn't on video when I started it, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing with it and give you an explanation of how I did it. I think you guys will like it, what I did. Something totally unique and different than this.
There's a table under that tarp right there. He made a top for it, and on next video or two, he'll walk you through how he did it, some of the stuff that he used to make it. Yeah, so just let us know what you think about this part. This is just something I came in after you already had the holes drilled and everything, so it's just something little quick videos for y'all. So anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, stay weird.